Hey everybody, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and today I want to talk to you guys about why you need meditation. And later in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why the thinking mind, that voice in the head, can be so problematic when you sit down and try to meditate. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you are notified whenever I post a new video. Now, as human beings, we basically have two aspects to our experience of reality. We have our inner experience and we have our outer experience of the world around us. Now, because of how we are conditioned, these two experiences of life are very much out of balance. Our primary experience is of the outer world, and our inner experience is very much secondary. In fact, a lot of what we feel inside of ourselves is actually very much related to what we experience in the outer world. Now, I'm referring to those inner thoughts and feelings that are really a reaction to what we experience in the world around us. So because of such a strong emphasis on the outer world, we tend to be very out of balance as human beings, because most of our energy is focused on the outer world and how we react to that outer experience. And very little of our time and energy is devoted to our inner experience and how we feel within ourselves without the outside influences. And this becomes a big problem because all of our power as beings comes from within. So we spend most of our lives in reaction to the outer world and very little of it within, where our higher consciousness and our source of power is located. And therefore, we tend to lose touch with our inner being and our true source of empowerment. And do you know what this actually breeds? It breeds anxiety, stress, and fear. Because we are not supposed to feel this disempowered and confused. We're not meant to be this out of balance. So what meditation does is it shifts the balance back to our inner selves. Now, here's a way you can look at this so it makes it easier to understand. Imagine yourself standing firmly on both feet with your weight completely centered. Now, when you do that, you feel a natural ability to stand. But what if you were to lean forward too much? Well, you would lose your balance and you would lose that natural center of strength. So if you use this analogy in terms of your consciousness, we are leaning way too much into the outer world as our primary experience of life. So meditation brings your energy back to a natural center of gravity within yourself. So, figuratively speaking, you can stand up straight again. You feel your power begin to return and your energy starts to flow again. And you will definitely feel less fearful, less anxious, and less stressed. So meditation is basically the act of returning to your inner being. It's about righting your energy once again so you experience life in a balanced way. So instead of leaning too far forward into the outer world, you're bringing your energy back to your natural center again. And now you can relax, and now you are clear. So in the sense that I'm talking about meditation, meditation in truth is actually about alignment. It's about getting your consciousness and energy back into its natural alignment once again. Now, I want to share with you guys a little tip about why it is that the thinking mind can make meditation so difficult, especially when you first start meditating. Because if you haven't meditated before or you're relatively new to meditation, it's very likely that you're going to find that your mind just keeps talking to you and distracting to you, and it can become very problematic. So the first thing to recognize is that this is really just a sign sign of having lived a life in a way that is out of balance in the way that I just described, which is really pretty much how we have all lived on this planet. Now, if you have tried to meditate and have had this problem with the voice in your head, you'll probably notice that most or all of those thoughts are about the outside world. Now, what most people do when they first experience this when trying to meditate is they tend to just quit meditating. But here's what's important to understand. All those thoughts going through your head when you're trying to meditate, that stuff's going on in your head all day long, and your mind has so much momentum over an entire lifetime of this happening, it's not going to just stop on a dime because you suddenly have decided that you are ready to meditate. So here's the thing, what you're hearing in your head when you sit down to meditate is actually the same thing you're hearing in your head all day long. But you probably didn't notice it so much because as that voice, as that inner mental chatter is going on, you're probably just tracking with that in terms of its focus on the outer world as you go through your day. So you're probably going through your day feeling like you're kind of in sync with that voice. So it's not really bothering you quite so much as when you sit down to meditate. But now that you're ready to sit down quietly with an intention to go within, your mind has all that momentum and it's not just going to stop. The difference is that now you're actually witnessing it. Now it's becoming really obvious. And you're probably starting to realize just how annoying that constant dialogue about the outer world can actually be. So this is definitely not the time to quit your attempts to meditate. Because when you meditate, what you're really trying to do is reverse an entire lifetime of living in this out of balance state. And your mind is just showing you how out of balance you may have been. And here's something to consider. Your thinking, talking mind has probably had to act as a substitute for a genuine, direct experience of the outer world. It's had to substitute for the fact that this out of balance state has made it nearly impossible for you to have a direct conscious experience of pure knowing that is all your own. So without being in that state of pure knowing, the thinking mind takes over and that voice in the head informs you and interprets it all for you. So when you sit down to meditate, you're saying to yourself, I want to have my own pure experience of myself and my inner world. I don't need this mental interpreter of what I'm experiencing. So the mind needs time and daily practice to learn how to be more quiet during those times that you're meditating. And this is why, my friends, consistency in meditation is so important. If you're a beginner, just do a little bit at a time every day, just a few minutes. Don't try to do too much all at once. Give yourself a break and be gentle with the entire process. Don't expect to be perfect the very first time you try it. And don't try to stop your thoughts. The best thing to do at first is to just let your thoughts flow by while you make an attempt to connect with your innermost self. Because you see, you have to give yourself a chance and give yourself some time to practice, because what you're really doing is you're shifting yourself from that out of balance state of leaning more into the outer world and shifting back to your inner self as well. And the more that you practice doing that, the quieter your mind is going to become, because you are going to be strengthening your own experience of having a direct sense of knowing what is actually happening within yourself. And if you want more information about how to meditate, check out this video right here. So, to summarize, the main reason you need meditation is to restore a sense of harmony and balance. It's to reorient your consciousness so that you have a balance between your inner and your outer world. And just like the example that I gave you about standing firmly on 2 feet, this will restore your feelings of clarity, confidence, and feeling empowered. And it's also going to bring you a beautiful sense of peace, because you're going to feel so much more right within yourself. You won't feel so reactive to the outer world, and you won't feel like such a victim of circumstances outside of yourself. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and please share it out with your friends. And hit that subscribe button and notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos to help guide you on your spiritual awakening. And one other thing, leave me a comment below and let me know what challenges you are facing or have faced when you have tried to meditate. And with that, I'm sending you loads of love, light, and positive energy. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.